Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to Software Sunday that I don't do very often. So hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm trying out another new setup like always. So I'm trying to see if my microphone works. I set up my monitor differently, which is pretty high up. I look kind of dumb looking up at it, but you win some, you lose some. So I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I'm going to check the sound on my phone because I know you guys are on a delay, so I don't want to, be weird. Let's see. Oh, yep, my sound's working. Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome. So I have been looking at some of these cute little banners for Valentine's Day. So I love doing Valentine's Day projects. I haven't done too many because I still feel like I'm going through the holiday rush. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel. And so I was doing a couple things this evening. We did some shopping earlier and Nick is taking a nap, but it's too late for me to take a nap. I will sleep way too long. So that's what's happening. So when you get here, make sure you say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Thanks for joining. I'm fiddling with a couple things. You might see me looking up. I haven't figured out a good monitor situation because the studio that I work in is also my work from home office. So I'm always moving stuff around, but hopefully you're doing well. Hey, Jerry, thanks for joining. We're going to be doing some Silhouette Studio designing. So you guys know I use Silhouette Studio to design for my Glowforge. I am using the Business Edition. That upgrade allows you to export your files as SVG. So that is useful for our Glowforge. And I have found that partnering my Silhouette with Glowforge has been super, super helpful. So I'm trying to continue on Software Sunday. I let it drop off with the holiday season, but I've kind of updated a lot of you know, of what I do for the live streaming. So I have a couple things I'm going to try again. Mina says, oh, Terry says hi from California. Mina says Happy New Year. It's kind of crazy. It feels like it is still 2020, but then it also feels like it's 2025. It's been like a really long, hard year. So happy all of those things for you. So sorry that I'm going to be like this. I also have my light slightly in front of my TV, so I'm making sure I'm not missing any comments. So let me go through, and I am going to share my screen so we can do some silhouette stuff, and I will keep myself on there too. Let me make sure I have that right. Oh, got to add it to the stream. Okay. So yeah, I put a new background on. So this is what we're working with. So you can see I am in Silhouette Studio Business Edition. It has the same interface as Silhouette Studio, but it does have those not new, but it has more features to help make it easier for those of us who are running businesses with that. So a lot of fun. Hey, Ryan, thanks for joining. And so we are going to go through, and let me hide that. And I'm just going to basically show you how I'm going to set up these little banners. So I've seen these really cute banners that have like little envelopes for like Valentine's, X's, O's, and hearts. So I'm going to bring in a couple different things that we're working on and kind of build it from there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is going to be super, super easy, and that is the X's and O's. Super simple. We're going to use our text tool over here on the left. So go to text, and I'm going to type a capital X for X's and O's. So let's go right there. We have it in Arial font. I am going to change this over to impact font. Impact font is going to be a lot thicker, and so it's going to give me that nice bold look with it going on right there. So we have it right here. Let's do impact. Now we have it set like this. So here we have our X. I hate it. Ugh, I hate it. We're not doing impact. I thought I liked it, but I didn't. So it's gonna, my computer is gonna stop responding for a second. Tabitha is watching, but she's gonna have me on to listen. So thanks, Tabitha, for still listening while leaving the house. So you can see my computer it's not responding. This happens a lot. I opened Silhouette Studio fairly recently before I started. Okay, hate it. I am not doing impact font. I hate it. So let's go back to Arial. And let's bold it. Okay, this works. Arial and then bold it, all right? So if you guys are not familiar with me, I do a lot of trial and error. I try to figure out what I like and how to make it work. Now, there probably is another font that would work better than this, but for the sake of showing you how to do this from scratch, I'm fine with Arial, so we're just going to go on from there. So I'm going to go over, I'm going to hover over this X. You see how my mouse is a little hand right here? So this indicates that my select tool is turned on, but there is also something that's about to be selected. So if I hold down the Alt button, you can see it's really small because of my screen, but you can see that my mouse turns into a plus sign. This means that we're going to be making a duplicate. So I'm going to click and drag, move this over, and you can see now I have two X's. Here's my duplicate. So again, if you guys have joined recently, please say hi. Let me know you're watching. Leave me a cute little emoji like this one right here. It's so cute. It's so sweet. Okay, so that was just my little plug. You guys know I love, or you might not know, I love when you guys interact with me. I want to know what you think. I want to know that you're watching. So please leave me comments. Make sure you give the little likes, hearts, all that stuff. All right, so double click. And I'm going to change this. I'm going to hit double click, puts me in text edit mode. You see that green box around it? Green, go ahead and edit your text, however you want to remember it. But there's going to be, when you have your text in here, there's going to be two ways that you'll see it selected. One with this green box, which indicates text edit mode, but then you can also click on it and you have that gray box, which is just a general select. So double click, we go into text edit mode, and while in text edit mode, I'm going to hit Control A. If you're a Mac user, then it's Command A. I think Command A, yeah. And this selects the whole thing in there. So I'm just going to go through, I'm going to do my Shift and do O for X's and O's, right, guys? Okay, so we have this set right here. So what we need to do now is we need to determine how large we need to set this up. Kimber, you're not too late. I just started. We're good. how large we want this to be. So when we're working with this banner, we have to keep in mind that we have to look at our height and our width. So right here, if you select these, you'll notice that it's telling me it's 5.286 inches tall. But do you remember what I told you about these boxes to select it? This right here shows that right here, this is the box. This is the text box. If I double click on it, see how this green goes all the way through? So we need to convert this away from text to shape. So we're going to select both of these, right click, and you can either convert to path, you can make compound path. Sorry, I like choked on air for somehow, or weld it. So I'm going to convert it to path. So see how much smaller those boxes got? So this shows me the true size, which is 3.492 inches. So you have to, oh, I forgot to put away my measuring tape, so I have it here. So this would be about this tall. I'll put it next to my face for reference, or my hand. So I think, sorry, I just hit my microphone. I kind of like that. I'm just going to go ahead and increase this to 4 inches tall. Kimber's watching from Northwest Oklahoma. Hey, Kimber. All right, so let's go through and we are going to resize it. So let me grab this X, and over here, this is what's called our quick access toolbar. What this does is it changes the functions you see in there based on what you have selected. So right now I have an object selected. I can go right here. This button right here where my mouse is, this is a lock. We can lock our aspect ratio. What this means is that when we adjust the width of something, it will also adjust the height of our object so that it stays proportionate. It doesn't look stretched out. So we're going to lock this. We're going to set our height to 4 inches and hit enter. See that? Nice and proportionate. And then again, do the same with this. Okay, so we have two main parts of that. We're ready to kind of start with our next one. So we have this right here. I'm going to do the holes for the string last. So let's go ahead and maybe let's fill it in so we can kind of see what we're going to do. So I'm going to do my X in pink, and then my O will probably be, it'll probably be in white, but white won't show up very well. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this dark red. Okay. So we have our X and O, and now the next thing that we can make all in Silhouette Studio are our cute little envelopes. So we are going to make it all from scratch using what's in here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a square. I actually like to do the rounded rectangle. It just makes the edges a little bit softer, makes it a little bit easier to work with. So we're going to draw this at first to kind of get the proportions right. We'll resize it once we're done. So you can see it set right here. I'm happy with the curve in here. If you ever want to adjust the curve more, you see these two little red dots right there. You can take it and bring it down, bring it over, and you can see that it curves it a little bit. So I'm just going to hit Control Z, Control Z. That kind of keeps it kind of the same way it is. Another plug, if you guys have joined recently, please say hi. I love to know you're watching. All right, so because we've had an object that's been made in here, you can right click and convert to path. So you see how those two red dots disappeared? We can't adjust the shape anymore. It's all set. So we have that right here. And now we want to kind of make it look like an envelope. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to do this little thing right here. I'm sorry if you hear this engine. There's like a crane on the street. I think someone's getting like logs delivered, or there's something happening. I don't know what it is, but you know, whatever. So I'm going to do a little heart for it. So let's go right here, use our heart tool, and then click and drag, and this creates a heart. You see that right there? And we can kind of adjust the size as needed. If you watched my live, I think earlier this week, Nicole and I did this as well, and Kimberly's watching from Georgia. So here's one way to do a heart. I'm going to move this to the side. Let's fill it in red just so we can see what it looks like. And now I'm going to show you another way that we can do a heart. This is actually going to be the heart, another heart in our banner. So over here, I have Untitled Artwork. This is actually like a little page that I created in Procreate. So I have Procreate on my iPad, and I use my Apple Pencil to just kind of draw a bunch of hearts to see, you know, see what it would be like. So you can see these don't look very good, but these look okay. So we're going to go through, and I would like to trace this heart and this heart. They're similar. I'm going to do like a stacked heart look. And again, if you guys have joined recently, please say hi. I love interaction, so please comment. Let me know what you're thinking. If you have questions, I can see them coming through. I'll try to answer them as quickly as I can. So this right here, one difficult thing about Procreate. So I know Procreate is very popular with crafters, with those of us who are Silhouette users. A lot of Glowforge users use it as well. Now, there are some difficulties when you use it. Please keep in mind that Procreate is a raster program. It's an image program. So that means when you make something in Silhouette Studio, you can resize it to whatever you want. This Procreate is like... I hate to simplify it this much, but it's like a really, really fancy version of Microsoft Paint. So if you try to stretch something out, you will get pixelization. And if you try to cut these hearts in Silhouette Studio, it's not actually going to work. Let me go to my Send panel. It's literally just going to cut the square that this came in because it can't read those hearts. So we need to trace it. We're going to go through and trace it so we can use these hearts. So right here is our trace panel. We're going to select trace area, and I'm going to trace these two hearts right here. Now you're going to see that they turned yellow, and then you'll notice that one is yellow and one isn't. Trace kind of picks things up by like almost like how much pigment is in it. So black is going to pick up right away, but we need to tell the software, hey, look for a little bit more. So that is what's called threshold. I'm going to go through, increase my threshold, and check it out. It started pulling that green one. Now, if I bring it up too high, you'll notice it gets like kind of pixely. Do you see that? So we're going to bring it down until it's not pixely. And then I'm also going to lower my scale. The lower the scale, the sharper your edges are. So make sure that you keep that down. Hey, Betsy, she's watching from Pittsburgh. And now trace. So I move this to the side, and you can see here are my two little hearts. Let's fill it in. Cute. So we're all set to go. So I'm going to copy this, bring it back over here, and paste it. So right now, you see how it's moving together? This is considered one big object because it traced together. So the first, and I know that because I double-clicked and went into point edit mode, and you can see that it brought both of these in point edit mode. So while I'm here, you can see all these little squares. You can't even see the shape. We actually don't want that. We want to be able to have as smooth of a line as possible. The way vectors work are that each point is like a landmarker. So our machine is going to go from one point to the other. So if you have a bunch of points, it just makes the job really tedious and difficult. And then Ryan asked over here for that trace. Let me find my mouse on my other screen. Hold on, I lost it. Oh, that's because it's still on this screen. So Ryan, hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, so Ryan asked over here, would it be beneficial to adjust the contrast on something like that first? So remember how I talked about kind of like temperature, it gets the darker one first and then the lighter one? Yeah, you definitely could adjust the contrast. You could even adjust the grayscale to kind of convert it over like that. I wanted to be able to just not adjust it much and trace it. Also, it's nice to keep the separate colors just so I can show you the difference in the threshold. So yes, you definitely could. You could also in Procreate just do it all in black to start and not worry about it. But, you know, I want to kind of show you a little bit of everything. But that was a good question, Ryan. All right, so let's go back to these hearts we have up here. So we have a bunch of points. We're just going to go through and simplify. Check it out. It smoothed it out a lot for us. Now, right here, so here's an interesting thing about Glowforge. Now, if you're familiar with designing in Silhouette Studio, you'll know that we can break apart objects by releasing compound path. And let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to make a copy using Alt, like I showed you before. If you right click, release compound path, you can see, I'm going to take away the fill right here. You can see that the lines look the same in here, but what we actually have are two different lines on top that make a different shape. So that's a compound path. Now, if we were to fill it in, you can see they're two different ones. And let me kind of click on this other one. Hold on. See that? So in Silhouette Studio, we could just go through and take this, and let me fill it in for you so you can see what's going to happen. Take this, right click, make compound path. What that means is it basically tells the software, hey, these two lines are working together to make one shape. Now, when you are working in Glowforge, make compound path doesn't like render in the software. So what it would see, let me release compound path, is it would see one shape on top of the other. Now this heart is actually going to be cut. So it actually doesn't matter too much about compound path or not. But because engraving, it really matters, I try to make it a practice not to do that. So I'm going to show you how we can fix that for our software. And then Nicole, let me try to explain it. She says, I don't understand the difference in group and make compound path. So it takes a little bit of time, okay? So grouping will take the objects, and they're all still separate objects, but they move together. So like, let's grab these two right here. So we can grab it right here. Let me just Control Z. If I got it like this, you can right click, group. So this is going to move together. It's going to resize together. But at the end of the day, these are two different things. And you can tell because they have different colors. If I were to double click, nothing happens because they're two different objects. Now, right here, and here's another good example of it. You see how this O, because we know this is a letter, our minds automatically know that this is one shape, right? But if we look at it, there's technically two lines in here. One line, two line. So I have a colleague that teaches at All Things Silhouette with me that explains it really well. A compound path is almost like a donut with the hole in the center. It's knocked out and it's one object. Whereas grouping or layering, it's almost like having a plate and a charger or a stack of pancakes. Now, Nicole, I know it's kind of confusing. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but eventually you will get it. So you can see right here, let me go back. We have one object, two object, but our mind knows that this is one shape. So to set this up for Glowforge, I'm going to click on this top shape so we can see the color. So see how this is on top? And I think I bumped it down, so let me just nudge it. We want to subtract that out. So I'm going to select both of these, go to the Modify panel on the right, and subtract. So now functionally, it looks about the same as we saw before, but now we know that this inside part is knocked out. You can see it through the difference right here, and then we're all set. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Subtract. It doesn't look much different to us, but you can see that now the two squares have been reduced to one because now we have one object. We kind of took that inside shape and I always like to say, used it like a cookie cutter to knock it out of the bottom. So let me move this over here. And let me fill this in too. Oops, I missed it. Okay, so I am going to rotate these. I don't want them at an angle for this one. So I'm going to go through, rotate it like it's straight like this. And then I'm going to make a copy of this because we're going to use it later. Alt, click and drag. And then this one I'm going to rotate a little bit more like this. And it's actually set up kind of weird compared to that one. So I'm going to right click, flip horizontally. So now it's got a similar shape to that one. And what I'm doing is that I'm giving it a little bit of like a scribble look. You know what I mean? So let's make this a little bit, actually, I'm going to flip it. Right click, flip horizontally. We're just going to do a little bit of like a scribble look with this. Just cute. And I'm just finding the right way to do it. There we go. I like this. What do you guys think? You think it's cute? Just a little scribble heart. All right, so now we're going to take both of these. This is going to be one object. So if I take off the fill, this little pattern right here, check it out. We have a whole bunch of overlapping lines. So if we were to cut that on the Glowforge, it's going to cut every single line. And we want them to be combined. So let's grab the whole thing, right click, weld. So check it out. See how the overlapping lines are gone, but you still had that cute little scribble look that we had before? I like it. That's kind of what I'm going for. Of course, if you don't like it, you can always do a different heart. It's totally up to you. So let's resize this one. I'm going to go through. I'm going to do this 4 inches high. And now we're all set with that. Now I am going to use this heart for the envelope right here. You see that? So let's go right here. Let's resize it using the corner. And now a heart on an envelope doesn't really do much, right? It doesn't look very good. Oh, I'm about to do something without explaining it to you. I'm going to select both of these here, click and drag. You can see a box around each one. And our quick access toolbar at the top, you can go through. And this right here, this is center aligned. This is going to put the heart right in the center of that envelope. And now we're all set to go. So now we need to do the little, top part to it. And so for something like that, I'm going to do tiny little rectangles. So let's go right here to the rectangle tool. I'm going to click and drag and make this skinny little box. You see that? So let me zoom in. I'm using select zoom in the top. And so this is a little bit too high. So we're going to go through and I'm going to turn off the ratio. I want this width to stay, but I want this line to be shorter. So I'm going to turn off our ratio lock. You can see with the tool right here. And now we can make our height a little bit smaller. So let's do, this is 3.4. So let's do 3. And this green dot right here rotates it. So let's go through, rotate it like this. I want it to be right there. So you can see still not exactly right. So let's go ahead and make this 2.5 inches tall and rotate it more. I kind of like that. I'm actually going to make the width a little bit shorter. And guys, I literally thought about this and jumped on. So I have not practiced before. This is basically live figuring out as well. I like to do that in the lives with you guys just to see so you can see my process and know that like there's no hidden secret with designing. It's just a matter of trial and error. So let's go through and I'm going to click this. See how this has a little box up there? This can go through. And hi, Shannon. Kimber, let me go through. So Kimber asked where she can get Silhouette Studio right here. If you are on YouTube, Kimber, I have a link in my description already. So you can grab it from there. And you can just get the business edition upgrade. All right. So see this little square right here? I can click and drag and it's going to make it skinnier. So cute. And this is actually going to be cut out. I am going to cut this out of my Glowforge and I don't super love it. Let's make it a little bit larger. Let's angle it. And I'm still trying to figure this out too. Like I'm not 100% certain on it. Let me fill this in like black so I can visualize it a little bit better. Ryan says this is his favorite part, the creative process. I love it. I love designing stuff like this. So hopefully you enjoy it. I just want to jump on and show you guys. So let's go through and maybe if we made this a little bit bigger. Okay, so what I did is I made this heart bigger. I am going to make the heart overlap after I cut it. And I'm not going to cut it tonight, but maybe later this week, I'll do a live with me cutting out the banner that we're making. So let me go through and get rid of that comment so we're not viewing that the whole time. And so I am mainly happy with this. Let me go through and we are going to take this, right click, and we are going to, actually, I'm just going to go through. I'm hitting Alt. I made a copy. And now I'm going to right click, flip horizontally. The reason why I did that is it flipped it at the same exact angle. So now I just have to find the same spot over here. Now I'm going to take this line right here, hold shift, grab this one, and I'm going to align it to the top. So you can see right here, this line up here. And it moved the original one up. So I'm going to go through, bring this down. And then you can see this isn't exactly in the right spot. So I'm going to bring this over a little bit more. And let's stretch out our heart. So this looks weird, I know. What we're going to do is we are going to grab this one and this one. I'm holding down shift. And I'm going to hit Control-G to group it. So now these two lines are going to operate the same. They're being treated as one object, but they're still technically two. And you can see, let me fill in this envelope so you can see the order of what we have here. So we have this little tan envelope. So you see our lines are on top of the tan envelope. So we're going to grab these lines, hold down shift, click on the envelope, and we're going to do subtract again, cookie cutter, get it out of here. So check it out. So we have this set right here. And when we put this on our banner, I don't know why I forgot the word. We put this on the banner. This heart is actually going to be cut out. Excuse me. Choked on my spit. Glamorous. It's a glamorous life I live. But you'll see that you can see this inside part of here. And I don't super love this heart. So we're going to revisit that compound path thing that we talked about earlier. So let me go through, drag this out of here, and let's zoom in. So you can see this is one object. It's like a ring, you know, but technically this does have two lines in here. So let me go over here, take off the fill so you can see it. 1, 2. But we saw the fill. We saw how it was being treated, right? It was being treated as one object. So let me go through, click on this, right click, release compound path. So now you see two boxes. See that? 1, 2, two objects. I can click this inside one, delete, and now we'll fill this in. And now we have our cute little heart. So now we'll just bring it over here. Let's put it in the center. It'll align it. And now we're all set to go. So this is going to be, I like this heart. Now you could just get a heart shape that's already done and put it in there if you want it to be like, you know, more precise. But I do like this. So this is going to be cut in two separate passes. So make sure when you go to export this, you move the heart out of the way, or you can move it in Glowforge. Just make sure you're not cutting it right on top of this because it'll cut the heart into that shape, and then you're going to have that weird overlapping that I just did all that work to avoid. So to make sure this is all treated equally or treated together, I'm going to select both of these, right click, and group. All right, so this one we set up to be the height. So we're going to go through and see how this looks. So let's see how this looks 4 inches high. The difficult part with this is if something is 4 inches high, it might be awkwardly too wide. So let's lock this, do 4 inches, and kind of see how it looks. Oh, let's bring this up. Let's ungroup and see how it looks. So check this out. If we were to put this on a banner, I'm going to keep it. I kind of like it now that I'm looking at it more. So we have our XO right here. And then let's grab our little heart. Oops. And this is already set. This is kind of set to 4 inches high, but you can see that we had it at an angle. So I'm just going to take this and stretch it a little bit more to make it even with that envelope. I don't know why I cannot remember that word tonight. Okay, so we have the base parts of our banner done. So now we just need to set it up to work like a banner. So we need to do little circles. We need to do little holes for our rope, our ribbon, or whatever we're going to put through there. So again, we're going to go to our tools, go to the ellipse tool or circle tool, hold down shift, click and drag. This creates a perfect circle. Now you can see this circle right now is almost a 1/2 inch wide. That's way too big. We're going to go through and set this to 0.125. That is 1/8 of an inch. Let me just check to make sure that's what I want. I'm happy with that. So you can see it's really small. Let me fill it in black so you can see. See? Look at that little cutie. So let's bring our X's and O's back. Let's bring our envelope back. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep making copies of this so we can subtract it. Hi, Eileen. So the way we do copies, again, Alt, click and drag. Click and drag. Oops, I just moved the center rotation. Click and drag. So 2, this is for the X. And I'm going to go over here, copy, paste. That's for the O. Paste. That's for the heart. Paste. And this is for our envelope. So let's go ahead and place this right here. I'm just going to make sure I have it in the middle of the X. I'm not going to worry about aligning it quite yet. And now let's zoom in. So you can see we have this right here. I'm going to click on this one, hold the Alt button. Actually, no, I want to bring that more right there. So let's click on this one, hold down Shift to select 2 at a time. We have the 2 right there. And now we're going to use our align tool up here, center align that. And now we have that all set. Now all we have to do is subtract it. So to make sure both of these dots subtract from the bottom at the same time, I'm going to right click, group. Now the reason why I'm grouping it is that the way subtract works is it subtracts the topmost shape from the bottommost shape. So what it would do is it would cut out one hole but not the other, because everything is placed in your workspace in an order. So let's hold down Shift, get the X, go to our modify panel, and subtract. Cool. So you can see we have one set. Is there any way to realign the scribble heart so the software doesn't think that it's at an angle? Ryan, there probably is. I honestly haven't spent much time trying to figure it out. So maybe. I haven't bothered. I will examine that soon. All right, so here, let's do our O. So let's bring these two dots. Technically, you don't really have to do another set, like 2 sets of holes, but I kind of like the look of it weaving in and out, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to bring this down in here. I'm not worried too much about placement. I am going to bring it over just a little bit. This is going to be a little bit closer together than my original because we need to set it up. Well, we need to set up. I just need to have 2 holes. So let's go through. Let's align it center. I'm going to Control G, group it. And then one more step that I'm going to do for this that I didn't do for the X is I'm going to select both of these and I'm going to align it to the center of the O to make sure that it doesn't hang crooked. I want it right in the middle. So same thing. We have it both selected. Subtract. Easy, right? That's pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and do it with this next one. I'm getting close to the end of the live. So if you have questions, this is your time to ask. I'm so happy to answer them. I also, feel free to comment on the recording and I'll answer it later. I am live on both Facebook and YouTube. So if you prefer one or the other, totally fine. I will say, just for your own edification, YouTube is a little bit easier for me to track comments. So if you do have a comment, a question, YouTube is going to be the easiest for me to see it, but I do check both pretty regularly. So what I'm doing for this heart is I want to make sure that my circles are even. So this one's going to be close to the top, but we can make it work totally fine. I just made an emoji face with the L. Hold down Shift. I am going to group it, hold down Shift, click on the heart, and subtract. So check it out. So now we have this one right here. We have that all set. And now we just need to do one more set for our envelope. So let's go right here. We're going to put it in there. Let's get rid of this real quick. Put it in there. And now I'm going to select both. I'm going to grab this one. I just moved it a little bit. Hold down Shift to grab that one. And don't forget, we're going to align it right here. I'm going to bump it down just a little bit. Cool. And just like before, Control G. Hi, Nicole. Good thing you're watching. I'll see you soon. Hi, Janet. And guys, if you are joining because you just saw that I was live, make sure you're turning on notifications. So on Facebook, you can go to my page and click the little button. It says notify when go live or something like that. And then if you go to my page on YouTube, you can subscribe and turn on the bell. The bell will notify you anytime I upload or go live. And I won't spam you, I promise. So going back to those 2 dots, we went through. They are grouped together. Let's hit Control Z. Now hold down Shift, grab that envelope back there. And we can go to our modify panel and subtract. Now, don't forget when I did that, it ungrouped my heart. Not a big deal. We're going to cut it separately anyway, but you do want to keep that in mind that it will ungroup something that is grouped. So now that Ryan pointed it out, I just have this funny emoji face right here. But check it out. This is our Valentine's Day banner. So let me kind of zoom out. So we would just kind of do X, O, let's copy and paste XOXO. I'm just trying to figure out the order I want to do. And I would paint these different colors. It's kind of tricky in here because I'm just trying to get it done. So we have our XOXO. I set it like that. Let's do another set. So I don't know. Cute. I'll kind of figure out the arrangement later. Maybe I'll do, now I'm committed. Something like this. I don't know. We'll figure it out. What do you guys think? So that's kind of the end of designing. Do you guys have any questions, concerns, anything you want me to clarify, ideas on the order that I should put this in? Like, how do we feel? I was just checking my phone. But anyway, that's kind of a quick thing. I just want to jump on for Software Sunday. I wanted to kind of design this and set it up. So I'm going to set this up. I will probably cut it in a live later this week. Maybe we'll do like a crafting live to make a banner. And I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. I kind of saw a bunch of stuff and thought, hey, maybe this is something I can try. I can also, if you're interested, export this as an SVG and set it up for you, and you can download it from my website, and I'll sell it for just a few dollars. So let me know in the comments too if you want me to sell this file. Now, you by no means need to purchase it because I literally just showed you how to do it. But hey, you know, I always like to buy files that are already made because why reinvent the wheel? You know, so let me know in the comments if you want me to offer this on the website. I'm happy to do it. There's a million things I need to update on my website anyway. And don't forget, I do have, I'm working on a section of my website that I'm going to go over all my favorite office supplies or things that help. Like, for example, I had someone comment on my sit stand desk during this week's live. I also have this super awesome lap desk that I take everywhere so I can work wherever I go, and lots of fun stuff. So let me know in the comments. Do you want me to sell this file? If you like this video, please like it if you're on YouTube, or give me little hearts, give me a little thumbs up on Facebook. It really helps me out. It tells them that you like my videos. And if you're still watching, then I think you feel some sort of way. Who knows? But that was it. I hope you guys have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you are not working your day job tomorrow, please enjoy your time off. You know, have a good day. And I appreciate you guys, and I don't know, I'll talk to you later, right? So let me go through and I'll talk to you later.